Hi, I am Graham Gordon, and in this video I'm going to explain to you what Anat-Ben-Yael method neuromovement is. In the short form, ABM neuromovement is a holistic body modality that uses specific movement sequences in combination with the 9 essentials for positive brain change in order to improve your ability or functioning in life. And we can use we use these lessons with children or with adults or with seniors. It's really for any walk of life we use these lessons. So throughout this video, I'll go in a little bit more detail about the method, explaining the method, and kind of show you a little bit about what it looks like. Okay, so here is a picture of Anat-Ben-Yael with Dr. Moshe Feldenkrais. So Anat-Ben-Yael, she's my teacher and she's the creator of ABM NeuroMovement. She's been doing this work for over 30 years, working with children who have special needs and adults and musicians. She's the author of 2 books, and she was originally trained in clinical psychology. Now her teacher was Dr. Moshe Feldenkrais. Dr. Feldenkrais was an engineer, a neuroscientist, and a judo master. And he invented his own method called the Feldenkrais method by studying judo, the way the brain works, and how infants and babies learn to move. So the method is a movement-based experimental form of learning designed to improve all aspects of our physical and mental lives. So neuromovement, we utilize brain plasticity. This is our brain's ability to change for the better, to mold and to have new neural connections form. We do this by using the 9 essentials for positive brain change. So these are the fundamental principles under which the brain can learn and grow. The lessons are designed to improve ability. So neuromovement addresses many needs. The lessons promote general well-being. The many benefits of doing the lessons include increased fluidity and suppleness of movement, better posture, better mood, enhanced attention, thinking, and imagination, increased energy and vitality, more effective and efficient movement patterns, and just overall improved nervous system functioning. Now, the thing about neuromovement is it's really applicable to all ages, from infancy to the elderly. And this is because neuromovement really deals with how the brain works and functions. It deals with how we learn. It deals with the underlying fundamental processes that the human brain goes through to learn. So with even the most complex and even the most simplest of human actions, we can always discover how efficiently our intention is actually matching to our action. And we can discover what resistance or blocks we encounter. So, neuromovement method is not a top-down approach where we teach the correct way of doing something. Instead, we use variations of movement to enrich sensory and proprioceptive information. Thus, efficient solutions to an action will emerge spontaneously as a result of the exploratory process. The lessons do not teach the correct way to do an action or function. Rather, we teach all possibilities with that action or function. We teach the full range of inhibition and excitation, thus exploring the full spectrum of what action is. What this does is it widens and refines the cerebral control of the muscular range, increasing the mapping and representation of that specific action within the brain, thus increasing your ability. So we really stress giving the time required for the learning process to occur. All the time required must always be allowed for every one of us to experiment with himself. The better way of doing must be arrived at by personal choice. Time and experience are necessary for learning, and any shortcuts will compromise it. Only improving the method of teaching can reduce the time of apprenticeship. So in this video, you'll see I'm working on a young client of mine who has spinal muscular atrophy. He's been coming to see me for about 1.5 years, and he has made such amazing changes in terms of movement organization, efficiency, and quality. His movements and his body awareness have really come a long way. And so whenever we're doing any lesson, whether it be with a child or an adult, we always use the 9 essentials for positive brain change. And so this just means as we're doing the lesson, we use these essentials. We use these principles, basically. So the first essential is movement with attention. This means instead of moving mindlessly or automatically, you pay close attention to what you feel and sense as you move. And what this does is it just starts to build new brain maps. It starts to actually build and grow new neural networks. So this is where it comes back to brain plasticity. The second essential is slow. With slow, you can feel what's going on, and feeling is really the source of information. When we're learning something new, we need to get more information in there, and we need to be able to take the time and learn, and that's where slow comes in. The third essential is variation. So by doing movements in different ways, you really expand your scope, you expand your freedom, and you start connecting the dots of your own body. For learning, we need a lot of variability. Variation isn't only the spice of life, it's also the spice of learning. So variation will help also flood the brain with new information. So the fourth essential is subtlety. So this is really just the reduction of effort or the reduction of force whenever possible. And this comes back to the principle of differentiation. So differentiation is making the smallest possible sensory distinctions between movements. And what this does, what differentiation does, is it builds brain maps. And differentiation is easiest to make when stimulus is smallest. So coming back to subtlety, when we reduce the stimulus, when we reduce the effort, then differentiation becomes easier. Thus, brain maps become more readily available to make. The fifth essential is enthusiasm. This basically just means amplification. Enthusiasm really amplifies that which you do and that which you feel. So mainly we really use this, especially with children's lessons, with changes. And it's about becoming enthusiastic and recognizing change. And what this does is it amplifies those changes. So the sixth essential is flexible goals. So errors are essential, and there is no really right way or correct way to move, only better ways to move. The brain is a self-organizing system that arrives at its goals spontaneously through lots of experimentation and approximation. The greater and more challenging the goal, the more room your child needs for mistakes, self-correction, and self-discovery. So this is where flexible goals is crucial. It's really about backing up, giving the child time to learn at their own rate. The seventh essential is the learning switch. So this is really, our brain can be in two states. It can be in a learning mode or it can be in a non-learning mode. And so the state of your brain really depends largely on where your awareness is. So the learning switch is about noticing when you're in a learning mode, or if you're not in a learning mode, then coming back into a learning space. The eighth essential is imagination. So the advantage of imagination is you can do things that you can't do in real life yet, but you can start to find a pathway there. This is our amazing human ability to do things without actually doing them in the real world, but experiencing them fully internally. So experiencing them inside internally fully. The ninth essential is awareness. When we don't know what we are doing, we can't do what we want. The possibility of delaying an action, prolonging the period between the intention and the execution, enables man to learn to know himself. Awareness is the space between thought and action, between intention and execution. Okay, I hope this video answered some of the questions you may have around what neuromovement is, what it looks like in the lessons, and how it could either benefit you or your child by doing neuromovement. If it didn't answer all of your questions, or if you have a question, you can comment down below, or you can send me an email. Email will also be down below. And if you'd like to book lessons or sessions with me, either for yourself or for your child, the link to my website will be down below, and you can contact me either through the website or through my email. Thanks so much.